I told him to meet us at 10 to 6. I phoned the suite. They said he'd be right down.
Well, we do have to get going.
No problem.
Well, come on, you guys. My fans are waiting. Come on. Gee.
Nice evening.
Hi, Teddy boy. How's it going? Good to see you. Yes, sir. How's everything today?
Not too bad.
All right.
Chicago, big time, no question. They've got everything. Here's the Sears building. That's the tallest building in the whole world. 113 stories. Only the CN Tower in Toronto, as we all know, is a little bit taller, but this being a building, the tallest building in the whole world.
You know, Vinny, I love these old cities, I'll tell you. They're really something. You know, this Chicago, it's almost as good as Boston. You know that?
Is that right?
Yeah, I love the old buildings, too.
But, boys, there's Wrigley Field.
Boy, there's been some great baseball games in Wrigley Field, and, you know, Ferguson Jenkins, recently elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, pitched all kinds of good games in that park.
Comiskey Park, of course, the old one. A lot of famous players played baseball in there. Harry, Louis Aparicio, Nellie Fox.
Minnie Minoso.
Oh, boy. Sad day when you saw that close last year.
But take a look at the new Comiskey Park. They'll be excited next spring when they start the baseball season in there, and it won't be long until the White Sox fans are used to the luxury of a brand new state-of-the-art stadium.
Here comes the stadium now. Bob, you must have a lot of memories in this building.
Quite a few games here, Ron. You're right. They're talking about Stanley Cup this year. It's been 30 years since they won it. I remember when they nearly won it 20 years ago this May. Pocket Rocket won it for the Canadians. And he scored a goal, in the first 3 minutes of the third period. Kenny Dryden won the Conn Smythe Trophy. Canadians won that game, the 7th game. 3-2, another cup, and a sad night for Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago Stadium. You know, we were the first guys, I think, in there when they put in that air horn. I'll tell you, when they let it go, we went that far off the bench. That air horn is something. But you know, Vinny, it's really funny. They can have their Chicago Stadium, they can have their fans, their air horn, their organ. The Bruins could nail them every time. Piece of cake.
This is without a doubt the latest he's been for any game since the Old North Church in Boston. Remember the time? This is him now. Bob, I think it's him now.
All right, yeah, doing all right.
Hurry up, Don.
A little something for your trouble, my good man. A little something for your trouble.
Come on. Bob, Harry, I'll see you after the game. Have a good one. Don, have a good game.
Don't worry about me, kid. Worry about yourself.
I'll see you later. I'm going up to the organ loft. We'll open the show there. It's the 68th consecutive sellout at Chicago Stadium. They don't often play on Saturday nights, though, so this was an extremely tough ticket tonight to see the Leafs against the #1 team in the NHL. Okay, Don Cherry is the best actor. I knew that already. Good evening, I'm Ron McLean. Mike Pellico at the famous Barton, Oregon. Wayne Mesmer standing by to honor our neighboring nations. Harvey Wittenberg, the public address announcer, will take us through a pregame ritual that's always a great way to set up a game from the Palace of Pandemonium, Chicago Stadium. Tonight, we're going to sit back like you and soak up the atmosphere. Hope you enjoy the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Ladies and gentlemen, to all please rise. We'll observe a moment of silence, recognizing our armed men and women overseas serving in the Middle East. And now, ladies and gentlemen, remain standing while organist Frank Bellico and soloist Wayne Messmer.
Of Chicago was saying the other day, if you don't get pumped up during the playing of the anthem in this building, then you'd better check your heartbeat. You may not be alive. Good evening, everybody. Here are the officials for tonight's game. Bill McCreary, the referee, Brad Lazarowicz, and Jerry Pateman will be on the lines tonight. And the goaltenders in this hockey game. Jeff Reese has been looking forward to his next start since way back in November. Well, tonight he's got it against the first place Chicago Blackhawks. Ed Belfour, the rookie workhorse for the Hawks, is back in again tonight. He left Thursday's game late in the third period with a muscle seizure in the stomach. Reported today, ready to go. 29 wins, most in the league. The Leafs winless in the new year, 0-6-3 in their last 9 games, starting with Krushelnyski, Foligno, and Clark are in. And Clark's shot is blocked by Belfour. Slow to get up, though. He's back on his skates and appears okay. Larmer coming in for Chicago. Dropped it back on the line. He's on with Roenick and Goulet. Roenick, 27, passed it out front. And Jeff Reese, jitters and all, gets his first taste of the Chicago Blackhawks as they storm around the net.
Now, 2 keys for the Leafs in this building to win against this first-place team. One, they have to look out for the fast start that Chicago gets so often here in the stadium. And second, they have to control this line that Mike Keenan started of Roenick, Larmer, and Goulet. Tom Watt knows that better than anyone, and he gave his team a royal blast today before the game. Very dissatisfied with their effort in the last 3 games, and it'll be interesting to see whether he gets a positive reaction or not. Mike Keenan, who is going to be the coach for Team Canada in the Canada Cup coming up in September. This guy just, you'd think he'd like to take the summer off. Nope, not him. He loves to coach. And on Inside Hockey, we'll get a real look at Mike Keenan.
2 minutes for roughing. Blackhawks sending number 28, Steve Larmer. 2 minutes for high sticking at 28 seconds.
Down Foose brought the puck in over the line. For Toronto, it was centered. And the Hawks bring it out again. Hudson clears it up to center ice. He's number 20 and coming in now. Trying to flip one, and there's going to be a penalty to the Maple Leafs on this rush. And look out, we might be in for a night tonight in Chicago.
Well, Mike Keenan's Hawks challenge you in nearly every department. One, the physical department. Now the Hawks have waved their goalie Balfour over to the bench, trying to make sure that McCurry remembers the penalty call was on the Leafs, the one that was called long before this little melee broke out. Now he may be trying to talk him into that penalty. I'm not sure the Leaf player did get it.
At 28 seconds, Rouse of the Maple Leafs and Larmer of Chicago went off on minor penalties. Hooking against Rouse. High sticking was the call against Larmer. And we have more penalties right here.
Here.
Blackhawk penalty number 44, Mike Peluso. 2 minutes for roughing at 50 seconds.
Just to calm him down.
Here's how it started right here. Ramage gives Peluso a facial massage, then pins him, then jumps on him. That's what Ramage gets the penalty for. When they got up, Peluso got the roughing penalty. McCreary's got a big chore in his hands tonight here at the stadium, Bob.
Bill McCreary has called Ramage for elbowing and Peluso for roughing. So penalties at 28 seconds, 4 penalties at 50 seconds. Police, Dom Foose, who had such a big day here a week ago, is in there. Tried to pass it off to the side of the net and did. Petit keeping it in. Knocked from the corner by Zezel. He's number 25. Couldn't stop it the second time. Gilbert flipped it out to center ice. Coming in. Graham, backhander off the glove of Reese. Michel Petit clearing it through to center ice. It's knocked back in again. Up to center now. This is Lehman. Gets set. Can't get a shot by Doug Wilson of Chicago. Thomas, who is much improved here for Chicago, started that rush. Green fired it in. And Thomas gets in front of the net. It's cleared back in front again, and Creighton had a good chance. Lehman for Toronto. Brought it in over the line. But the play was offside, and now Lehman and Wilson get their sticks up. Creighton had a great chance to open the scoring.
Well, Mike Keenan, I'm sure, has instructed his team. Let's find out if this Leaf team, who have not won a game in their last 9, are really interested in breaking out of the slump. Let's be in their face all night, finish all our checks, and find out if the team in blue really wants to win this hockey game. And Gary Lehman, Vince Domfus, Daniel Marois, Bradley are going to be targets of every Hawk every time they get the puck.
Opponents have racked up 30 or more shots at Toronto in 8 of the last 9 games, just when Tom Watts seemed to have things under control and reduce the number of shots that opponents had on his netminders.
You know, I haven't seen Tom as upset as he was today at practice and this evening before the game. All about the fact that his team seems to have lost their intensity that was so good to him in December.
Bradley is wearing number 44. On there with Lehman. And Broughton. Thomas went in after it. Presley picks it up and tried to center it. Still on the puck, back of the goal it goes, and Creighton moves in to pick it up. Creighton left it there. Now he is pinned. Tries to get loose, but Todd Gill won't allow that. Presley got his stick on it. And again, it's Thomas coming out with it. He lost it near the line. And it's cleared into the center ice area. Hawks on it again. Creighton, lots of time to move inside the blue line for Presley and Thomas. Thomas goes around the net, now centers it. Here's the shot, and that's knocked down by Reese. Boy, he's been tested from close in early in this hockey game. There's no score. They're nearing the 3-minute mark of the opening period. Gill back. He lost it to Reed. Reed centered it off his stick of Wilson. Kept in by McGuire. Bradley trying to get off. Here's Goulet coming out for Chicago. Roenick up on the play. They get in over the line. Roenick ran into Petit. They bumped rather heavily just inside the Maple Leaf blue line. We have an update for you now, and here's Ron McLean.
Thank you, Bob. As you can see, significant news at Le Colisée in Quebec City tonight. After playing only 1 game since Valentine's Day last year, Mario Lemieux is back as captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Pens are at Quebec City. We'll have highlights of that game and others tonight as 66 makes his return.
Big news for not only Pittsburgh, with the National Hockey League, let's be fair.
The best news, the National League could get one of their premier players is back in action. He looks a lot thinner now than the picture that they first showed when he was starting to skate again.
Leafs with Hannon, McGuire, and Reed. Chicago, Roenick, number 27. He's the hot ticket, along with Larmer, 28, who's plays on the right side, and he has it. Hit back to the Leaf net. Slides it along the boards to the line. Reed couldn't clear it. Hannon will. From center ice, he dumped it in. Out of the net, Belfour. Sure, the puck didn't bounce on the boards and get back in front of him. Moving up is Conroy. He shoots it in for Chicago. Jeffrey stepping out of the net, leaving it for Richardson. Matee, his defense partner. Matee's long pass going down the ice, but icing has been waved off, so Belfour comes out to play it. 3.5 minutes into the opening period at the Chicago Stadium. No score. Hudson coming in there for the Hawks. Lemieux going in back of the net, and he's pinned on the boards, allowing Krushelnyski to clear it away. Foligno to center ice with Clark and Krushelnyski. Quick shot by Krushelnyski, stopped by Belfour. It's centered again, and the Hawks are clearing it. On a solo dash is Larmer, but he's tricky. Or Lemieux, rather, took a shot, and Reese kicked that out with the right pad. Lemieux with a great burst of speed going in now. He's chasing Ellen. But Ellen takes the hit, but got the puck out. Lemieux coming back at Ellen. They roughed it up a bit. Still no score in the first period. Hawks change all around as Rouse comes to center. He took a bunt from Thomas. Creighton and Presley on there with Thomas now. Here's Thomas. Long shot in and away wide of the net. Presley in quick though to pick it up. Overskates it, and the Leafs get it out. Shot in by Zezel. Arwa missed it. Wilson took a swing at it with his glove, and Creighton skates it out to center ice. Backhands it into the zone, and Thomas goes to the far side, waiting for the puck. It comes to him. He's covered, however, fell to the ice, and the Leafs clear it again. Zezel to Gill. Into Domfus. Winds up, and a bullet shot stopped by Belfour. Domfus lots of time on court, that dandy. And Belfour stopped it. Again, here's Ron McLean.
Oh, Maurice the Rocket Richard was the first in NHL history to notch 50 goals in 50 games. Mike Bossy became the second, January of 1981, the following season. But that same year, Wayne Gretzky did it for the first time. He's done it since 3 occasions. 99 got 50 and 39 and holds the record. Mario Lemieux became the 4th member of that elite group. And last night at Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Brett Hull of the St. Louis Blues became player 5 to score 50 in 50 games. His second goal of the third period against Dave Gagnon, making his NHL debut, made it 50 and 49 for the Blues super sniper. And our congratulations on behalf of all of us at Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Here are the scratches tonight. The Leafs lineup reduced with the trades, and people sent to Newmarket, Marsh and Deblo. Deblo has got an ear infection. That's why he can't play tonight. Marsh just sitting, and of course Fergus not ready yet.
And of course we all congratulate the Golden Brett. What a big night and what a big year. Terrific season. Hawks are in looking for the first goal. Roenick shot a low one and just missed. Centered again. Roenick making sure the puck stays in, but not for long. The Leafs hook it out and down the ice.
What about 80 and 80 games, Coley? Is that what they're going to talk about next, about Young Hall?
Why not? What a great goal scorer. St. Louis, of course, making a big rush in this division. As Norris, Leafs keeping the puck in. There's going to be a penalty against Chicago on top of it, and the Leafs will get the man advantage coming up as the Hawks are penalized. 4 in with Lehman, 11. Lehman tossed it back to Bradley, and Clark in on the play, back to the line of Ramage. A screen shot. It was tipped in front of the net by Gilbert, nearly caught the corner. Ellen's shot, and is blocked off the stick of Belfour, and the play is called. Talking about 50 goal scorers, looking at the scoring stats in the National Hockey League, and on his way to another scoring title with 93 points today, Wayne Gretzky, and a happy birthday to you, Wayne. 30 years old today. And we mean it when we say many more.
Let's hope we can say it on his 40th. He's still playing.
It'll be marvelous.
Well, 1:14 left in the power play. There are the power play and special team stats for both these teams. Ed Belfour starting to play the way he's played almost every game, although he did have an off game against Buffalo on Thursday. This is his 44th game of the year. And when asked about whether he's getting tired, he says, all I know is I can feel I can play every game, but I haven't been in the league long enough to know any different. And you know, Bobby's only 9 wins short of Tony Esposito's team record of 38 Hawk wins.
Going to do it.
He sure is going to do it.
Leafs on the power play now. No score. Here's a low shot. Knocked down in front, and Don Foose slides it back. Allen coming in a step. Takes a shot again. Kicked out. And the Hawks are going to clear it. Up to center. Moving in on it. Lemieux. He squeezes by on the boards and centered one. Troy Murray picked it up. Played it back of the net. Petit grabs it. And rolled a pass ahead to Zazzle, but Petit was hit hard in there as he made that play. Here's Dom Foose in with the brakes on. Gets it back in the slot area to Zazzle, and he's upended. The Hawks get it out, down the ice. 32 seconds left of the penalty to Larmer. The Leafs. Another rush coming to the line, and at center, Petit decides to lift a high one in. McGill wrapped it on the glass, and it got a little too high and goes into the crowd.
Well, the Chicago Blackhawks, after tonight's game, head to play in Vancouver on Monday night, and then they don't play until Friday in Edmonton. Mike Keenan's taking the boys for 3 days to Banff for an opportunity for the club to get together. He says Mike calls it an energizing week, and that word scares the Hawk players because they know there's an arena in Banff and they're going to practice, so that they better play well tonight and Monday in Vancouver, or that could be a tough 3 days in Banff.
I'll tell you what they won't do. He might, but they won't do any skiing. But I'm sure Mike will be on the slopes once or twice.
Yes, he was asking us, wasn't he, Bob, where he should go. He's taking his wife and his daughter, and he's going to get a 2-day holiday. And there's nothing like 2 days in the middle of the season. It's like 2 months in the off season.
The Leafs on a power play, another 15 seconds. Shot score! Lifted high by Foligno, and Toronto leads 1-0 on a power play goal here in the first period.
Well, Mike Foligno simply wouldn't allow Doug Wilson, who was pretty soft on him in front of the net, to knock him out of there. When the shot came from the point, Foligno stood in there long enough to get it and flip it over Ed Belfour. The puck goes right back to the point. There's the shot from the circle, and Wilson's late coming. I mean, he really should have had Foligno tied up when he saw the puck going back here. McGill's a little slow getting there. Wilson's a little slow. Foligno puts it in. Power play goal to give the Leafs a lead.
Give you the official scoring in just a moment. Foligno got the goal, and the Leafs lead 1-0. Power play goal for Toronto. Ramage coming back into the corner, flipped it on the boards. Clark is in there and bumped. Allen tripped up, can't get it out. Hawks keep it in there. Shot from the line by Larmer, right on the money. And Jeff Reese again makes the save. Clark got it out over the line. Hawks Manson, number 3, coming to center, gets away from Foligno. Ramage and Ellis are the lead defensemen. It is Krushelnyski with Clark and Foligno. They can't get the puck out. Again, a penalty being called, I think, on this play. The puck is in along the boards, and I think it's going to be against the Leafs again. Maybe Ramage will be the player who will go off this time.
Well, trying to grab his team by the throat and get him to do something different than they've done in the last 9 games. And one of the things is play a lot more physically.
Leafs lead 1-0. It is Rob Ramage. He's off for slashing here at 8:39 of the first period.
Well, the Hawks are second in the league on the power play. Here's taking a look at the little, this is after the slash. And he comes in to get after someone, does Rob Ramage, who's playing a very aggressive game. In the last game here in January the 10th, the Hawks scored 5 power play goals against the Leafs.
The Leafs have the only goal so far, and it was on a power play. Foligno, his 7th of the season. Koshalinsky and Gill assisting, and the time was 7:48. Hawks now. Roenick back to Wilson. Chelios is on the ice. Here's Roenick playing it to the side of the net. Goulet tried to center it to Larmer. He is upended. Wilson from the line, hands it off. Here's his shot. Roenick blasting one from a sharp angle. Hannon and Reed, penalty killers. Hannon, the weak shot. Rouse and Ellett are the Leaf defensemen. Wilson and Chelios bringing it in. Off the stick of Hannon in back of the net. Reed stepping out. Leafs do not get it out. Wilson again at the line. Bounce to the head. Wilson again, a shot. Reese got a piece of that, and it's over the glass. And into the crowd. Leafs lead 1-0.
Jeremy Roenick, who's 9th in the NHL in points, is the center on the Hawks' big line that also includes Goulet and Larmer. They have 23 goals in the last 10 games, and in those 10 games, the whole Hawk team has only scored 32. And he'll be talking to Ron McLean in the second intermission. Roenick, in his last 9 games, has 17 points, and 19 of his 26 goals come right here at the Chicago Stadium. What a bright young star he is.
What a marvelous game he had here Thursday against Buffalo, albeit in a losing cause. But Harry, he was something both ends of the ice.
He's tough as well as talented,
Yes.
this guy.
Great. Presley. Thomas for Chicago. Wilson and Chelios remain on. Chelios shoots it into Thomas. To Presley. Wilson waiting at the point, and the Leafs. Zessel slipped it down the ice. 1 minute left of the penalty. 1-0 Toronto. Hawks on a power play. Wrap it in. That one got too high. And it's over the glass into the crowd, and they'll bring it outside the blue line for the face-off.
Well, Steve Thomas, the ex-Leaf, has only got 2 goals here at the Chicago Stadium this year, and a very low 8 for him. His career, 138 goals in 352 games. So this is kind of an off year for Steve Thomas. Against the Leafs in 17 games, he's got 10 goals and 10 assists. One of the harder shots in the National League and one of the faster pair of feet.
Bob Cole with Harry Neal at the Chicago Stadium. Ron McLean and Don Cherry along with us. And it's a treat, of course, to be here in Chicago at this grand old building with the first place Chicago Blackhawks. And the Leafs are tied with Quebec for last overall. Presley coming in. Presley has to go to the boards, gets it back. Chelios goes back the other way with it. Waits for a return pass, and now he gets it. And now he shoots it. That one missed the goal. Hawks keep it in. Wilson near the blue line. Got a pass in across Hannon's stick. Leafs doing a pretty good job, though, keeping the Hawks outside. Wilson shot, and that's grabbed in front and knocked down. Reese trying to find it. Scramble for it, and they get it out. Leafs are hanging on. 10 seconds left in the penalty. To Toronto's Ramage, and the Hawks shoot it in. Petit ran into Presley near center ice. Penalty is over now. Ramage is on the ice again. And the Leafs, who lead 1-0, come in. Danfus near the line. Slipped it back in front of Reed. And Manson got the center before letting a shot go at Reese. Danfus again, bringing it in with Zessel. He stops, lets her fly. Rebound, Danfus. Can't get on track to get a shot. Came out over the line. Rouse shot it in. The Leafs skate back on side. 8:50 remaining in the period. Zessel throwing his weight around. And he gets in on the puck to center it. The Leafs inside the line. Here's Danfus again. And the shot deflected over the glass. In behind Balfour. But the Leafs were pressing again.
Into the Chicago power play. Now watch how many people end up within 5 feet of the net. The puck's there. Now you've got 4 Chicago players, 5 Leaf players. Only Doug Wilson and Ed Balfour are not trying to get in on getting the puck out of the zone or putting it into the net. A nice stop by Reese, then he lost it to Stu.
Bradley with Lehman and Broughton for Toronto. from the face-off. Shot stopped by Belfour. He covered on the short side, no problem. Chelios for Lemieux. He doesn't get too far. Hudson is number 20. Peluso 44, playing on the left wing for the Chicago line.